Okay, shalom, shalom, kwam yasha'Allah, kohlo la Yahweh, bahashim Yahushai, bahashim kahachadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to the Akim and Akhwa that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, bahashim Yahushai, to the best of their ability. This is Achanan Awach. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. We'll see where the Spirit leads. But this is a video. NBC News video shows Waymo self-driving cars blocking roads during San Francisco blackout, right? And so when I was looking at it and seeing it, just by the Spirit, me speaking as a man, we know that this MOTB, or this Mark of the Beauty and the Beast, I call it, is coming around real soon. The dollar is dropping, the dollar is failing. Everything is being digitalized and it's being centralized into just this orbit of your ass gonna have to get down or lay down. It just is what it is. And that's actually what the scripture says, when you go into Revelation chapter 13, which we can get. But when I seen this, so say these cars, right, they're running off the chip, because it's multiple chips in those cars. They're running off the satellites and all these different things at the data centers and all this other stuff. So let's just say you get the MOTB and the lights go out. What's going to happen if you got the MOTB in you and the lights go out? Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to your ass? Revelation 16:2 comes to mind. That noisome, grievous sore. That's just me speaking as a man. But what's going to happen to your ass if you take this chip and you're running off, because you're going to be running off the system and the whole thing shut down. This shit shut down and your damn chip shut down in your ass while you in your sleep or you driving your car. You know what I'm saying? Well, you seen that movie, what's that movie? World Left Behind. Salakia, if I'm butchering it right off, but I remember the scene with the Teslas kept crashing, you know what I'm saying? Because they were out of control. They were like self-driving Teslas, right? But this is fair use as far as this news article. The copyright disclaimer of 1976, so I'm not getting any monetary value off of this news article. Just want to play the video. As a matter of fact, let me just get it to just go all the way into it to be sure, because Esau been playing games when it comes to the copyright disclaimers. Okay, so copyright disclaimer, fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in the favor of fair use. So, as I play this particular video.
Tonight, the lights slowly coming back on in San Francisco, where instead of the typical fog blanketing the city, it was miles of darkness.
It looks dystopian, like a Hollywood movie.
A massive power outage Saturday left some 130,000 PG&E customers, about 30% of their users across the city, without power for hours. This map showing just how widespread the outage spanned.
We're like, oh my God, and when we find out later and later, most of the things that we planned were canceled.
The blackout forcing restaurants and businesses to close on one of the busiest holiday shopping weekends of the year.
Like, San Francisco, are you okay?
On the streets, chaos and congestion.
Oh no, this way might be.
Videos show multiple Waymo self-driving cars stalling at dark intersections.
The Waymos are stuck.
Unclear how to navigate the down traffic lights. Waymo temporarily suspending its operations, saying we are focused on keeping our riders safe and ensuring emergency personnel have the clear access they need to do their work. The fire department says at least some of the outages were because of a fire that broke out inside this PG&E substation.
I can say that this is a contributing factor to the lights out in the area, stoplights and lights out in the businesses.
But the full cause still under investigation. PG&E saying the damage from the fire is extensive and that the repairs and safe restoration will be complex, but not yet explaining how they believe this happened. A blackout dimming Christmas cheer in the Golden City.
Liz is joining us now from California. And Liz, so many questions about how to make sure something like this, something this dramatic, doesn't happen again.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of questions tonight, and people just want to know, when are they going to get power back? We know most of the power has been restored, but there are still entire neighborhoods and thousands of people that do not have electricity. PG&E says they are actively working on this, and they expect to have all power restored by midday Monday. Hallie.
Okay, and there you have it.
For some survivors.
Like here, there you have it. That's but these are Esau's inventions. You know what I'm saying? I guess you didn't hear about any accidents, but just think accidents could have happened. It depends on what time of the day. This could have been going down. This could have happened midday while shit was popping and those damn Waymos, those literal robots on wheels basically moving through the city. You know what I'm saying? Could have crashed into anybody or somebody could have crashed into them, with the light change. They, because these are systems that they're setting up that don't have a human mindset to react, so to speak. But Esau, he's so goddamn smart. He think that he's beyond human intelligence, so to speak, because the Lord created us in a certain way. But he's coming up with all this tech, all this technology. Everything is going AI. Everything has a goddamn chip in it. Everything is Roku TV on your ass, basically, But let me just grab another quick scripture. It's going to Revelation 13:16, because I was watching a beloved Allah video. He done one earlier talking about the market of beauty and the beast, we call it. And hey, this is an ongoing subject, man, because this is what Esau is doing. Everything is becoming digital. And starting 2026, ain't no telling what these people are about to do, man. And these, when you look at stuff like this, they kind of be tests. See how people are going to react, what people are going to do, you know what I'm saying? And driverless cars and all this. Esau's infrastructure is not, this shit is, the roads is all beat up. You got potholes the size of fucking landfills. You can just tear a wheel off a car. Are these cars designed to dodge potholes? Now, I'm not sure what their roads are like out that way, but I know in the east or the Midwest, area, we get snow. They salt the roads. The salt normally tear up the roads, and you got a lot of potholes. It's really rough. And you can tear off a damn wheel. You can catch a flat. You can bend your rim. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff with these roads. So we don't have anything. I think they do have something like that downtown. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going, but I'm not getting nothing driverless, or I'd rather an older fucking car and just do that shit myself. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at that movie I, Robot, and shit that was going on in that particular movie, Will Smith, and they had the Audis in that movie too. Audi had that sponsorship, but in that movie, if you notice, he had a gas-powered motorcycle. And it was the only gas-powered vehicle in the movie. Everything else was just being moved by robots, and on that level. And he was able to move about when nobody else was able to move about. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, fuck that. I'm not gonna trust. Got to see the movie. I, Robot is a dope movie, and it's definitely spiritual. But this is Revelation 13:16. And it reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? So it's going to come a point where you're not going to be able to get into a vehicle unless you have this mark. And something like Waymo, I've seen them, You know, all kinds of companies got those cars riding around doing tests and stuff like that. I've actually seen test cars like that up close and personal, you know, at a place where I worked at. And but you're not going to be able to move about. You're not going to be able to get into a ride. You know what I'm saying? As far as cabbing, ain't going to be no Ubers, no fucking DoorDash and all that shit. If anything, you know, because you got these little robots, they actually delivering fucking food now. They're taking the jobs from the people. So you're not going to be able to move in this society unless you take what this man has. And 2026, I'm thinking they doing the last of their tests. They doing a test. They checking out everything. They pretty much see what it is. They trying to get America trying to get on that China system, because China is way ahead of America when it comes to the you know, the system of basically controlling their citizens with this particular technology. But this is verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So all you have in stores now, self-checkout. You might have one employee in there, two employees, depends on. Hell, you got like Walmart's. Shit, you can go in Walmart. Some motherfuckers that have like 30 lanes. You know what I'm saying? But it's only like maybe 4 or 5 of them that you can walk up on and get your you know, get your service. You know what I'm saying? Like all the damn lights are out. Then you go through the self-checkout, it's all packed because they're funneling and forcing everybody to the self-checkout. Here you go, you standing there, you waiting on somebody with 2 baskets of shit. Some mean ass chick talking about you paying for cash or card. Certain self checkouts only take cash, and that might only be one, because they don't do it like that. There's more of them that take card than cash. You know what I'm saying? And you never know with Walmart, places like that, when they have little places like that take cash, they funnel that cash and you know, and just, they're actually more than likely, me speaking as a man, taking that cash and they're directing it back into the banks to get rid of. You're like, oh, we just collected more cash. Ain't no telling how much cash Walmart take per month. Where you can get some change back if you say you get something for $5.21, and you put a $20 bill or a $10 bill in one of those machines. It'll throw you a little change back. But in the meanwhile, you have to realize that it's actually collecting cash, and they're bucking down on that. It's not like a bunch of those self-checkouts where they may have, like, if it's 10 checkouts, self-checkouts, 2 of them be cash. The rest of them, all of them are going to be card. It's going to be, you're either going to Apple Pay. I don't think they take, no, Walmart don't take Apple Pay, I don't think yet. But it's going to be all debit, or something to that extent. You know, so this is what it's leading up to. Now let's get chapter 14, verse 9. Revelation 14 and 9. And the title on it is Doom for Worshippers of the Beast. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Tormented, bro. Let's get that word tormented in the Greek. Let's see what it says. Yeah, man, you don't want no parts of this shit, man. It's just coming to a point where we just going to just give up on everything and just rely on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because you should be relying on the Lord anyway, because he's the one that provides every day. Though we get up, you know, we do our physical thing, we get our bread, so, you know, little bread, you know, put gas in the car, you know, and pay the bills and repeat, you know what I'm saying? But it's the Lord that's giving you breath. It's the Lord that makes your arms move, your fingers move, your toes move, you know, your ankles move, everything, your brain, your eyesight, and everything that you're getting up to do. That's all the Lord anyway, you know? So you have to keep that in mind. But it's actually a quote. It says, he shall be tormented. It's by Zanizo, G928. Let me see here. Pain. Yep. Torture, pain, toil, torment. So there's gonna come some pain with this, man, and the overall pain is gonna be them nuclear missiles. That's the ultimate pain. So let's go to chapter 16, because this is what I thought about with chapter. When I seen that article, because if these cars are shutting down like that and doing what they're doing, and they got it on a grid or they got it on a data system, so to speak, you know, let's just say the lights go out and they just want to, and we already know they can turn off anybody. Say they want to turn off a whole zip code. Say they want to turn off a whole fucking state. Say they want to turn off a whole damn continent. And we know these Edomites, they're about controlling the population and taking the population down to their numbers that they want. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the Georgia Godstones, remember that? Now this is me speaking as a man, but this is Revelation 16:2. And it first went and poured out its vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome. And I went into that word noisome the other day, and it goes off to smelly, like a smelly sore, a smelly like basically like your flesh is exposed on some rottage. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So it's nothing to say that, okay, if these cars are acting like this, I mean, it's just common sense. If these cars are acting like this, right, when a blackout goes down, what's to say that, you know, your neural link, whatever they may put into the people, the brain chip, you got the neural link. How are these things going to run if there's someone in that region? Like, is it just going to stay operating, and again, you got to really realize, like, okay, if they have it like this, where these cars, this is a perfect example of your robotic chipping system. This is a test, pretty much overall. If they put this shit into people, the way these cars is just stopped at those lights and running and couldn't go no further, and they just blocking traffic and doing all this shit. Matter of fact, let me see.
Congestion.
Oh no, this way must be
Videos show multiple Waymo self-driving cars stalling at dark intersections.
The Waymos are stuck.
Unclear how to navigate.
Okay, so if the Waymos are stopped and they got the chips in them, then if the lights cut off, won't your ass stop? You know what I'm saying? Salakia. Salakia for that. Won't they stop? Salakia, y'all. Salakia, that phone call was coming through. But anyway, I mean, don't it make sense that, I mean, come on, they can, if just from a fire in a small substation, from what they're saying, a fire in a small substation can put out 130,000, they saying, houses and businesses, could be more. But, of course it was in a busy district. All the restaurants are shut down. Little Christmas holiday bullshit. All the businesses shut down, your restaurants shut down, bars are shut down, your malls, your whatever, whatever's gas stations, you can't get gas. You can't do anything. Because a lot of these stores don't take cash like that, and they're basically set up on taking, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay. There's a lot of shit out here now on PayPal, but digital stuff. And you're trying to go to a gas station and all this shit is going on. You're not going to be able to get no gas. You're not going to be able to get no water. You're not going to be able to get no goddamn chips. And then we seen that movie. If you go back and you look at that movie, damn, what's the name of that movie? I can't think of the name of the fucking movie. It's been a sec here, but the movie with Dave Left Behind. What the fuck is it? You guys know what I'm talking about. If you put it on the comment board, I can't think of the name of the movie, but it was hard for people to, people was ramshacking shit. You know what I'm saying? They was going through, they was grabbing what they could. and they was getting the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? It just is. They was just doing what they was doing. You know, it was a rush to get everything. You know, you had some people that was already stocked up. You know, but the point that I'm trying to make is if these cars are shutting down like this in the middle of traffic because the lights are off or the grid is down, what would happen to the people that actually have these chips? Because they can just shut off a substation and cut your ass off. They can just shut you down. I mean, like, come on. We already know that's what they were talking about anyway. Aaron Russo, you know, the apostles always go into that, especially Apostle, the beloved Apostle Gabar. He goes into that, how they was talking about, hey, if you're not on board, you're not with what we want you to be with, then we're gonna shut your shit off. And you know, Trump and them, you know, he hates them blue states. So anybody that's in a blue state, and he can shut the whole state of whatever state it is at one time. He can shut down, you know what I'm saying, fucking 20 states, and everybody just collapse and die. This is what you're dealing with, man. You're dealing with Esau, man. You know the you know the evil that the Bible speaks of, the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's in control of this tech, and he's in control of this tech on the left hand side. So let me just grab one more. And actually, this is the Lord's movement, you know, because the Lord created Esau to do that thing, and he's gonna do it. He can't help himself. He's got to do it. This is Proverbs 16:4. Yahweh hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. He have created these people for the day of evil. He have created Esau, the so-called white man, these techs. You know, your Elon Musk, your Peter Thiels, your Mark Zuckerberg, your Bill Gates, your, you know, all these different men that are talking about blotting out the sun and talking about, you know, chipping your ass and all this stuff. The Lord created these people for a reason. This is the Lord's people on the left-hand side. You can't get around it, man. Right? Let me get this. Psalms chapter 17, verse 13. Let me start there. And it reads, Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. See, the Lord, he created the wicked for the day of evil. And he created Esau as his sword. From men, this is how we know that these are men. These are actually people. From men, which are thy hand, O Yahweh. From men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. So this is talking about Esau. Esau is in control of this system. Who you think came up with who you think authorized Waymo? Who you think came up with Waymo? You think it's black people, Hispanics or Native Americans, or these immigrants that they talking about? No, these are so-called white people. They're running the earth. That Job 9:24. Let's get it real quick. Job 9:24. And it reads, The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. Esau came up with this shit. Who you think is approving this stuff? Your FDAs, you got CDCs, you got FBIs, you got, you know, CIAs, you got all these different agencies that's all ran by white people. They're the ones that's saying, okay, well, we approve. Ain't no so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans talking about we approve of that, or even involved with the creation of the things that they're approving. It's Esau. This is his kingdom. He's doing his thing. So again, just imagine motherfuckers done took the chip. You thinking you just out here and you just doing your thing. It's a movie called In Time with Justin Timberlake in it. A real dope movie. I say watch it if you can. But hey, once your time shut down, that shit was like zero. Your ass just dropped. You was through. Because it was a cutoff point. And Esau, you take that shit, he can turn your ass on or off, man. It's a done deal. You out of here. But, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Because when I seen it, I'm like, well, just think. Just think about that. That's just me speaking as a man. Just think. You got this man's chip in you, because all these cars got those chips. All these cars got those chips. It's all running off a data bank, all running off a system of robotics, transhumanism, so to speak, in a sense, But just think about it. If they put this in you and the shit shut down, you just gonna be out here weirded out, stopped at a damn stoplight, not knowing what to do. You just pausing, turning, spinning, doing a motherfucking Michael Jackson motherfucking moonwalk or something. You just never know, man. They click a button and get your ass back on sync probably. You just never know, man. Anyway, I'm going to end out there. I pray that the lesson was edifying with that. Kwame Shala and a Bible Ball.